Welcome to the Richard Stewart Show. My name is Richard Stewart. I'm a former national team player for the Canadian national team who won a silver medal for Canada in the 91 games in Sheffield, England. I also played at St. Joseph's University NCAA Division I in the Atlantic 10 Conference.
Stewart again down the lane, no foul, they let him have it. Richard has 19.
Currently, I own Advanced Basketball Canada, a program that teaches kids how to play basketball from the fundamentals to the more advanced. Two of the notable players that I've trained are Dillon who plays for the Memphis Grizzlies,
and Brooks will go and jam it with the right hand off the setup by Moran.
And Ignas Brazdeikiz,
Brazdeikiz to steal, some contact, and we play on. Brazdeikiz,
who plays for the New York Knicks. I also train ladies, and the ladies that are in university and have played in Europe as well. So I have a lot of ladies who have trained and are playing basketball. Welcome to the Richard Stewart Show. My name is Richard Stewart. Hey, true believers, how are you doing today? On this program, we're going to have a world famous, all right? This guy's world famous. Name is Doug Lawrie. And for some of you Toronto ballers, you may know who he is, but tell you what, you didn't know. This man is one of Canada's foremost leaders in junior golf and has coached world champions, provincial champions, helped kids here in Canada and the US to get scholarships, and he has shaped a lot of great golf development in this country. As you know, golf is a really skilled sport, and you have to have passion to play this sport. Your favorite coach here, Coach Richard, I try golf once in a while. I must admit that I am not as good as I think I am, but I'm sure that Doug can help me. U.S. Golf Kids rates him as one of the top 50 master coaches. And he's won provincial titles as well in basketball. Some of you may know that. And also is a Canadian champion for Humber College. Yeah, Doug was a basketball player, you know what I mean? And he's going to be on our program. And I just want to welcome Doug Lawrie to our program. Doug, how are you, my friend?
Richie, so nice to be on here. Thank you so very much for asking me to join you on the Richard Stewart Show. I mean, it's the little funny story that I got to segue in here is my introduction to Richard Stewart was the junior Boylan boys basketball tournament in grade 10 when I'm running down the court with you and you were playing for Downsview and you picked, I'm like, I don't know who you are at this point, and I'm running down the court and you picked the ball up at like the top of the key, and I was like, I'm like trying to run you down, and like all of a sudden you pick the ball up, take 2 steps, give a double pump shake and crown me, and I was like, who is this guy? I had no idea what was going on, and I was like, what the heck just happened to me? That was the first time I ever got crowned. I think it might have been the only time I ever got crowned. But, bro, listen, this is the really cool thing. You know, sport is sport, and you know, coaching is got so many different factions to it. So I really do appreciate you asking this golf coach who truly is a still ball is life for me. I mean, if someone were to ask me my favorite sport, it's still basketball. Without a doubt, the fact that I get to use golf as a vehicle to help educate and shape lives of young people, that's really why I love what I do as a golf coach. I mean, hey, you know what? I'm good at helping people get better at this game, but it's something that I find is an incredibly great passion. And if I wasn't a teacher, now I have a different vehicle to be able to affect.
Well, you know what? I want to thank you, Doug, for that story. There's quite a few people who, when I was at Downsview in grade 9, and then I went to Oakwood after. But it's a great story because a lot of people come up with me with stories which I don't really remember because when you're playing at that age and you're just playing and loving the game, and I'm so happy to have you on the show. You know, when I ran into you a couple of years ago, I didn't realize it and started to reconnect with you. Didn't realize what a great golfer and teacher you are, and that's an amazing thing that you're helping youngsters pursue their goals, their dreams on the golf course. But let's back up a little bit. We'll talk about golf because I do like golf, but I want to talk about your journey and how you became a teacher, a mentor, someone who young people need and can count on. So tell me a little bit how you transitioned from being a basketball person who has loved basketball. How were you introduced to golf? How did that gap? How did you bridge that gap? What happened?
Sure.
Who introduced you to golf? How did basketball turn into a golf guy? Yeah.
It's a great story. So I was going to Humber College. I was playing basketball there, and I had a friend on the team at the time, Heath, and we decided to go to mini putt one night with a girl I was dating. Her name is Sue, and she actually is my wife. So I was dating my wife in college. We went to this place called Centennial Park in Etobicoke, Toronto, and we did mini putt. And on the way out, the range was lit up, and I had never hit a range ball before. And I said to my buddy Heath, "Hey, you want to hit a bucket of balls?" He goes, "Sure." So we got a couple of rental drivers and just whacked some golf balls. And I was like, "Wow, this is fun." And then the next week went and rented clubs, and I was hooked. And I was like, so from that point on, it was really crazy because I just loved the game. And I very much started in '89, and when I graduated in '91. I got a job working at the Board of Trade up in Woodbridge, which is now called the Country Club, and it was really an interesting point because I found, wow, I can play a sport that I get paid to do. I like people, right? So it's a social game, and it was something that I found I was fairly successful at right out of the box. And the really interesting part was I didn't know that coaching was going to be the thing, and it was a really interesting point because. I went through the whole apprenticeship program similar to a mechanic or an electrician. And, I always taught golf, and I saw it as a way to supplement my income. But also, I suddenly found that I was being able to connect with youth. And through my late 20s and mid 30s, I really, found that there were some great connections that I still have today with some young people.
Sure.
And so what was really interesting is I did a 10-year stint working for the city of Mississauga. I was director of golf operations for them, so I ran the golf courses. And
that's interesting.
Built one of them. Yeah, I helped build and open the one called Braven, which is an amazing one because it's built on a city's former landfill. So it's a pretty ecological project, which is pretty neat. And that's right in the heart of Mississauga, Mavis, and the 401 essentially. But when I was there, I thought I was trending towards being a GM at a golf club.
Yes.
And so I had an opportunity to do that in 2010, 10 years ago. I left what I thought was, an opportunity. I left to take this opportunity. And unfortunately, the people that I went to work for really were not very character-driven people. So what happened is they took my master plan after I designed for them in 50 days, and they backdoored me with a guy they were replaced me with a guy they were backdooring me with. Yeah. Pretty much 54 days into the job. So I was dropped on my doorstep, didn't have a clue on what I was going to do, but I could teach golf because I had done it before. So I embarked on that road. Now, I always thought that I wanted to get back into the management head pro job. But what happened was I missed out on getting a director of instruction job at a golf club. And I kind of was driving with my wife. We were going up to see my best friend Rob for his birthday, and I kind of realized that these guys who I was working with at the driving range where I was teaching were pretty entrepreneurial, and they gave me the chance to run it. So I went back and took a proposal, and they said, "Yeah, sure, go ahead." So I formed my company, Focus Golf Group, and the reason I didn't make it like Doug Lawrie Golf or something like that is because I really think that focus is a really good word for golf, and I really think that it helps people understand that.
So tell me, Doug, what's the name of your company now?
Focus Golf Group.
And do you have your own golf course? Do you have your own? What would you call what you run now? Is it a putting thing? What is your business? And what is it? Explain that to the audience.
So what happened was in 2012, I formed the Focus Golf Group, and I decided to just focus on juniors. And so primarily about 90% of my clientele base is under the age of 18, and that is, for me, I think, both a smart business move and also a great move for me fulfilling my soul. So, one of the really great parts about this is I take my company anywhere I go, and the best part is I just finished 4 years working in Mississauga at a golf club called Credit Valley, and I built their junior program up to a really big, a really very well-respected programming. And I've just recently moved back to a course that I've worked at back in the 90s called Trafalgar Golf Club, which is in Milton. It's at Dairy Road in Trafalgar. So Yeah, so I teach there. I'm averaging about 10 hours a day, 6 days a week.
Sounds good.
Very socially distanced, and I get kids coming to see me from as far away as Markham, Niagara Falls, Fergus.
Well, let me ask you this. The thing that I'm hearing from you, one of the things that this program does is, we identify people who are successful, but also people who have overcome adversity. And you just spoke about that. In fact, that, you had a great idea, you had a formula for success, and the folks you were working with took your idea and co-opted it and left you out in the cold, but you've bounced back greater than ever, helping kids, giving back to the community. And I just love that, and that's why I also wanted to have you on. Let me steer you toward another conversation that I've had with a lot of people, and a lot of people have. I must admit, again, when I was living in America, I lived in Philadelphia for over 20 years, and I worked with some major companies, and golf outings was one of the ways you did business. You went on the golf course. They had golf outings, big, great steaks at night, dinner, wine, all that stuff. But you golfed. And that's how I got involved in golfing a bit. Tell me something from your perspective. And it's be interesting for me to hear this. Phil Mickelson or Tiger Woods?
Well, that's a really great point. I think both of them are amazing gentlemen. I think they've both done amazing things for the game of golf. Tiger has transcended a generation and transcended the sport.
Okay.
Phil has always, he's like the good American boy who's always wanted to do right. He has a bit too much ego for me.
Okay.
And I mean, Tiger, albeit he has, I think what I like about Tiger is very much like a lot of people that you can think about who have faced adversity, been cast down to be, exposed to be
human being, to be a human being.
Yeah, human.
You've been exposed to be a human being.
Because he was, for the longest time, superhuman and, untouchable. And he made mistakes, and he atoned for his mistakes, and he has come back more so than ever. And I think that comes with maturity, but it also comes with finding the right compass for you.
I would like to thank our sponsor.
No Sugar Snacks! No Sugar Snacks! No Sugar Snacks! No Sugar Snacks!
That's a great point. You know what? One of the things I don't think people understand when they watch people in the media and sport, and I being one who have played in America, I think people think there's a malice toward them bringing up someone's past or bringing up someone's issues. But however, what Americans love, and a lot of people around the world too, is a great comeback story. So, for example, hockey players who have fallen, guys who have done drugs in hockey have come back and had great careers. Baseball players with all kinds of issues. Football players. Again, what has happened is Tiger is human. We put people up on pedestals and forget that at the end of the day, they put their pants on one leg at a time, just as you and I. And so the reason why I asked you that question is that you're fulfilling a lot of the stuff that people should understand from a golfer himself. For me, the reason why I watch golf was because of Tiger. And as I said to you before, I tinkered around the edges, but I will watch. And what does that make happen? A lot of people make money. The more eyeballs you have on your show, the Masters, whatever show, the more advertising dollars. Every golfer has made more money because of Tiger Woods.
100%.
Phil Mickelson is a great golfer. He doesn't have the charisma and the media thing that they call it the thing that makes me want to sit down and watch him. I don't. But you would, because he's a great golfer and he is technically great, but Tiger has that thing.
Exactly. Well,
so that's the difference that I see.
There's the thing, but you got to remember what Tiger did is Tiger brought fitness. Tiger brought strength. Tiger brought a focus like no other. Right? He took the guys from their beer bellies who could play golf and smoke darts and do all this stuff back in the 70s and 80s. So now it's like you have to be an absolute athlete.
Yeah. Rory McIlroy, those guys. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so he really has affected a sport like unlike many. There's not many who can say they have changed golf. He's made golf cool Because, dude, like, for you and me, hey, listen, I didn't watch hardly a lick of golf when I was growing up.
That's right.
It was basketball 101, man, like,
That's right.
all day, every day. So, you know, when you look at this, and I have friends who have been playing golf since they were kids.
Sure.
And I mean, you know, I played basketball for probably one of the best golf historians on this planet, in Mike Cates. Like, he knows more about golf than you would ever know, and he's an amazing, passionate player at 70. Sure. And the thing is, he's probably one of the best basketball minds also in all of basketball.
I've heard about his coaching ability through Phil Dixon and different guys who have been around him. He is a good basketball mind here in Canada. So that's great.
His golf mind is almost as good. But what I'm saying is when you look at Tiger, love him or hate him, however he is, okay, Phil did not change his sport, okay. Phil made it a competition, and I mean, here's the epitome of what Phil's like. Okay, when they were going to the Ryder Cup, they were the Ryder Cup teams in their own teams. Like, the U.S. guys would always play each other in ping pong.
Sure.
So Phil hired a ping pong coach so that he could beat Matt Kuchar and be the best on the team. Like, this is what Phil wants to be the best, right?
Yes,
so he has to try and do everything that he can to be the best.
Great story.
But the problem is he has to try and do it with a golf swing that is very much his own, which is fine. But I'm saying it also leads into him, like, he's leading the 72nd hole at the U.S. Open, and he blows it way left, ends up making a bogey, and Jeff Ogilvy wins the U.S. Open. That's the only championship he's never won.
Yes.
Right?
And the difference is, you don't see Tiger. You don't see the great players like the Michael Jordan documentary is one of the things that I have discussions with guys about. When the moment is there, when it's time to show yourself to be the best, the greatest, your focus, your singular focus, a guy like Michael Jordan shows up. A guy like Tiger Woods shows up, and other guys falter. You remember the Shark? You remember Greg Norman? He was clear to win the Masters. What happens? You know what I mean? He totally implodes, and he's doing it right on national television. So once again, no, I don't. Again, I'm a different type of person, Doug. I don't judge and fault guys for faltering in sport, because you and I understand when we're in the gym by ourselves, there's no one in there for 3, 4, 5, 6 hours with us. There's no one with us when we're out running 5, 6 miles in the heat, when we're running the hills, when we're lifting weights. So I don't put it on guys when they don't make that shot, because I know it's difficult to do that. But I do give guys credit who are at the top of their profession who can in that moment. And that's an extraordinary thing for any human being to do. Think about Donald Trump right now. Think about he is the president, and here's a moment for him to say, hey, you know what, guys? Let's come together. Let's do this. Instead, he says, you're bad, you're crap, you're this. He doesn't have an opportunity to live in the moment. He's not great. So in all the walks of our lives, Doug, we're seeing that. And
totally.
You know what I'm saying, brother? It's an amazing thing.
And I think what's really interesting, and I think you brought up a really good point. You know, there've been, I mean, we're in such an unbelievable part of our lives right now. Like the world has never seen what's going on in both protests and also in illness.
That's right. And
I've seen amazing coming togethers in so many different ways. I mean, first of all, big shout out to our frontline healthcare workers.
Absolutely.
Because, I mean, without them, we would not be where we are.
Absolutely.
The second one is,
God bless them.
And the second one is, you know, I saw a video. Don Lemon on CNN played a video. He was talking to Ward Dunn, and he played the video of the NFL players talking about, you know, that they won't stand. They're not going to stand for this. You know, we matter. And you know what? We are a voice and all that stuff. And Richie, it's an interesting point, because I think I put up a picture last weekend. It's a Bob Marley, picture of One Love, right?
I remember that,
like,
yes.
Yes, bro. And it's like, you look at these things, these times, and it's instead of singling out others, it's time to become one as people in the nation and support. And I mean, I really think that this is why God got us going in this direction right now, because I think there has to be a very good reason for it, and he doesn't do anything.
Well, you know what, Doug, on that point, I just wanted the audience to know that I bring people on the program, and again, Doug has been a friend to me, even when I had hard times. And I've already said to the people on this program that you see people, you don't know what they're going through. Doug is a person I can call on when I was in a bad place, and he reached out and helped me. And we both are believers in God, and we both are champions in terms of just every day waking up and thanking him for everything he's done for us. So Doug is not just saying that because he's on the program or he's on the media. He lives it. And I appreciate him. Doug, listen, bud, we can talk forever about this stuff. We're going to have another conversation soon about other stuff, but I've got to go because we have a commercial break coming up. But I want to thank you, my friend, so much for being on the program. And I got to come up and hit some balls with you one day, my friend.
Please do. Give me a call, Richie. And listen, best of luck to you. Much love and respect, brother. And I'm so happy that you are doing this wonderful thing, because more people need to hear what you got to bring. And the voice from Richard Stewart is one that people should listen to. So thank you very much, my friend. I really do appreciate you having me on your show.
Thank you, my friend. God bless you and your wife and your family. Stay safe. Ladies and gentlemen, Doug Lawrie, professional golf development coach and one of the top 50 best in North America. Search him out, my friends. If you have a youngster who wants to learn to play, this is a man who I'll send my son, or if you have a daughter, send your daughter to, okay? Thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember what we say on this program. Little things turn into big things. God bless you.